I bet. Welcome back to another episode on Toxiris Thoughts, and today we are going to talk about my journey as a hip hop fan. Let's get it. Now, to start us off, I got into hip hop pretty late. In summer of 2018, I started listening to hip hop music because before that time, I knew about it, but I was very close-minded. I thought it was music that only bad people listen to, but I was young, bro. Leave me alone. I was young, okay? I mean, I'm still kind of young, but I was way younger back then. Then I got into hip hop music thanks to my sister who played X's Sad, and when I listened to that song, I immediately fell in love with it and wanted to discover more about this artist. Found out about his Question Mark album, immediately ordered that on CD, and a couple weeks after I've gotten into X, he already passed away, unfortunately. The whole year of 2018, I was very close-minded. I mean, I got into hip hop, but I listened to X and his music, and I listened to rappers that were centered around X, that collaborated with him, that he had connections with, rappers like Ski Mask, Denzel Curry. At that time, Falling Out dropped, so Lil Peep, I got into Lil Peep. I was overall very close-minded and not really open to other music than that. Maybe a bit of the mainstream, but not really a lot. It was only at the start of 2019 when I started to get a bit more open-minded. And that was when my channel started out. My first video was uploaded on February 1st, 2019. And that video, the first videos were only about X. So you already know he was my favorite rapper back then. And he still is one of my favorites to this day. But in 2019, that's when I started to branch out a bit. Not really too much. I still kept it kind of close, and for example, I listened to 7 rappers a lot. Other than that, I had a pretty isolated taste. You can see that in that time I made a top 10 favorite rappers video, and that video was very, very weird because viewers don't know this, but some of these rappers I didn't even listen to. Deadass. I put Kid Trunks in that video. I knew one Kid Trunks song outside of the members only collaborations, and that was his most popular one called IDK or something like that. I was just trying to be yo, I know some underground artists. I didn't know shit. Nah, but I mean, overall, I was I tried to be lyrical. I listened to Hobson. Not the best place to listen to lyrical hip hop, but I tried it. I listened to J. Cole, I listened to some J.I.D, and that was basically my list. I had NF on there. I mean, I wouldn't put him on any top 10 nowadays, but he's alright. Well, then in 2019, overall, I tried to listen to everything that was dropped, that was relevant. I listened to rappers that were totally out of my spectrum. Rappers like Rich Brian, with his album The Sailor, or IDK's Is He Real? And those were albums that I really liked, that even got into my top 20 albums of the year. Overall, I got more into the melodic type of rap. I was in 2018, it was only X and more screamo shit. I was even into rappers like Zillakami. I still fuck with Zillakami sometimes, but not all his shit. But in 2019, I got into the melodic shit. I started to become a Juice WRLD fan. I got into rappers like E&D, or I got into my favorite rapper now, which is PNB Rock. And I was just branching out a bit, but not as far as possible. Well, then 2020 came. 2020 started off pretty bad with rappers like Houdini and Pop Smoke dying. Overall, it was just musically, it was not a favorite year of mine, because I spent most of the year listening to old music that obviously when I got into hip hop in 2018 I had missed. I got into rappers like Tupac, Big L. I listened to a lot of Wiz Khalifa. I love Wiz Khalifa. I tried to get into old shit before I hear the new shit, while still trying to maintain a basic knowledge of the shit that's dropped recently. That was pretty hard because I tried to listen to as much old shit as possible, while still listening to as much new shit, as much recent shit as possible. I mean, it worked kind of good, but I still haven't heard a couple of albums that people would call essentials of 2020. For example, I never heard Wanna. I never heard High Off Life. I heard parts of High Off Life, but that didn't interest me at all. So I didn't get into it. I just listened to more old shit in that year. And then 2021, we're not even halfway through that year, but to see it now, I've listened to every relevant album that is dropped in this year so far. I mean, there haven't been a whole lot, but I listened to some, I don't say underground artists because they're not really underground, but like some more underrated artists that dropped some shit, like Nick Caution, Dro Kenji, but I still try to listen to as much old music as possible, but not at all costs. Like, if there is an album dropping, a new one that is relevant, I'd rather listen to that one than to any old album that I can listen to any day. I mean, in 2021 so far, if y'all are interested, I got into rappers like Big Crit and Buddy, thanks to my homie, and OMB Peasy, because he dropped his album recently and I absolutely loved it. This has been my journey in hip-hop / rap music so far. What was your journey? When did you get into it? Am I still too fresh to judge any rap music? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Have a good one.